How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a very special video for you guys today that I have been wanting to make for months, and I've been putting it off because I really wanted to get everything finalized before I finally put these models in front of you today. So we're going to be going over all of my Walt Disney World railroad based equipment, the locomotive I've created, as well as all the rolling stock. So we got a lot to get to go over today. I'd love to share it with you guys. This is a really fun project that took almost a year to do, and I really want to showcase it all to you guys. So let's get started. Alright, so here he is. This is my custom MTH 460 in the Walt Disney World Railroad Walter E. Disney livery. So to get started with just the overall history of this model, this was an engine that was pre-painted by MTH Electric Trains. So the story is Mike Wolfe, the founder of MTH, wanted to produce a Walt Disney World Railroad locomotive for the general public. He contacted with Disney. They had two falling outs. The first time was because of licensing issues. The second time, Disney was willing to give the license to make this model. However, due to manufacturing reasons that I'm not going to get into in this video because it's just not worth mentioning. It's just a little controversial and stuff like that. But basically, long story short, Disney and MTH just had a falling out, and they never were able to produce the model. However, Mike was stuck with the paint scheme that was already put on this 460. So if you go on eBay and you find this 460, you're going to find it in the presidential scheme, which is going to be the Abraham Lincoln train or the circus train. So if you go on eBay, you'll find those in this scheme, but this paint scheme is exactly how it is on the Walt Disney Railroad, which is the Walter E that you see before you here. So basically what I did is I had a friend of mine do custom decals, and another friend of mine helped do some certain paint modifications to make this engine pretty much exactly how you would see at the parks. I also got to take into account, I got to give a shout out to another YouTuber here. His name is Fairness of them all. His name is Carmine on YouTube, and he inspired me to even want to do this. The guy has done phenomenal work. He has a locomotive shop where he will build custom Oguage models for you. He's done several things. He's done all the Walt Disney World Railroad locomotives. He's done the Disneyland engines he's currently working on. He's also starting to do the Euro Disney stuff, and he's done his own set of rolling stock. So this is just a little thing I wanted to do because I thought it's so fun to do, and I'm a big Disney guy, and I really wanted to emphasize that I wanted to finally get my hands on a model like this and do it myself. He did his model a little differently, and mine's slightly different, but both are fantastic nonetheless. So let's go over the features of the engine. So taking a look at the front of the locomotive first, you can see that we put a number 1 badge here on the front of the boiler. This isn't actually prototypical to the real Walter E. Disney. However, nonetheless, my friend and I thought it would be a cool idea to have this number 1 on the front. It just looks a little different, and it looks pretty sharp actually. I like the overall appearance of this model this way. Now, in the future, I might get a builder's plate that's actually for the locomotive itself. That way, you know, it's more prototypical. The second thing is, this was already on the locomotive, and this is on the real Walter E. Disney. This little portrait that was done by Ward Kimball. Really awesome to see this. Go to the sides of the engine here. You can see on the actual model from MTH out of the box, these are red. So we painted them black, how they would on real life. The brass is already done on the model by itself. The drive rods are painted black by default from the factory, so we painted them silver to be more correct to the actual prototype. As you can see, they look a little dirty and a little grimy, but that's okay because the engine works a ton. It does a lot of hours. This is the main locomotive that gets used on the Walt Disney Railroad, so it kind of makes sense and it works really well. Looks really nice. Also, the other modification I did, the coupler on the model when you get it out of the box is painted red like the rest of the cow catcher. So I painted the coupler black, which is prototypical to the actual thing. The steam chests here are normally red. We painted those black, and that looks really nice. And then we come to the sand domes here. We have the number 1 on the top of the sand dome here. Go on to the other side. You can see we have the awesome the Walt Disney World Railroad badge as well. It looks really awesome. Also, something to note on the real model, well, not real model, on the model that you get out of the box, this pipe here is painted red to match the boiler, but in real life it's actually brass, so we painted that and it looks really sharp. Adds a lot more character and brings the model even more to life. And now we take a look at the custom decal here. There's Walter E. Disney, and it came out really beautiful. Very, very sharp. I absolutely love it on both sides. I have to get the one side fixed, but that's okay nonetheless. But awesome, awesome work all around by my two friends who helped me bring this together. So let's take a look at the tender next. Alright, so the tender, as you can see here, the decal really steals the show. You could see that the decal is so heavily put on the model that you even see the rivets like put in, like it looks like it was painted on there. And if I go in closer on the decal, you can see just the wonderful work that my friend digitally did to bring these decals to life. They look absolutely flawless. A lot going on these, but just absolutely terrific. No other real modifications I did to this tender other than change the decal. The funny thing about the tender is, though, on the Lincoln train or the circus train, if you rub off the original decal, you will see the original MTH branded Walt Disney World Railroad logos that they did, which is really funny and really cool that they still had it under there despite everything. The next thing I have planned for this engine, cosmetically it's all done, but the next thing I really want to do is put custom sounds into it. So have station stops like saying this is Main Street Station, Frontierland, Fantasyland, stuff like that along the park route. So hopefully in the next few months I'll come back to you guys with a video showing how that gets done. And that's going to be absolutely amazing, just bring the whole thing to life. But other than that, let's check out the rolling stock. Alright, so here's our first car that I custom did. So this is the Thunder Mountain Railroad Mining Company car. Basically, I took a MPC or post-war style flatbed and painted it up brown. And then I got the model here. This is from Walt. This is from Disney themselves. This is a die-cast model that you can buy, that you were able to buy in the parks, but obviously now you can't get them anymore. You can get them on eBay. And this is 1/43 scale. So this is in scale with Oguage figures. So that means this is a pretty scale-accurate model to use for any project here. So let's go into the details I did here. So obviously on the model itself, I weathered it and made it look grimy and dirty like it would on the actual ride. I added, you can see I did a load of detail to this car. This is the one I'm the most proud of. Put a lot of chains on it to make it look like it's secured down. I put the wood stakes here to keep it in place. I took the barrels here of gunpowder and dynamite. Basically what I did with this, I took some wire, cut it up, and it looks so good. It looks perfect for dynamite. It looks really solid. Then I did more wood crates and dynamite on the back here. The flatbed itself, I took dull coat and weathered it a little bit. Not too much else going on, but very proud of this car. Very easy to do. Anybody can do this, really, and I really recommend it. This was a lot of fun to do this car, and it's probably the fan favorite. It's the most recognizable Disney car out of all of these cars I'm going to show you guys today. But that being said, awesome car. A lot of fun to do. It's got good weight to it, too, also, which is really nice. But anyway, that being said, let's move on to the next car. Alright, so here's car number 2. So, very recognizable vehicle. This is Herbie the Love Bug. What I did is I took a scale Lionel flat car. Nothing too crazy. Nice detail on it and overall, but the main star is Herbie on the car. I deliberately got a black car because I think since he's a grayish white, I thought he was going to stand out a lot more. This is a Hot Wheels die-cast car that I found online. Very hard to find, but this is a 1/43 scale car, and he's completely detailed. He's got a full interior, seat belts, a roll cage somewhat in there. He's got the license plates and everything. So what I did again, took the wood chocks and put him underneath his tires so he doesn't move around, because we all know he's a little jittery. I got the air. I know it's not realistic because all this would easily fall off on a flat car, but I thought it's cool to do nonetheless. I got the toolboxes and stuff. I got the air compressor here, and then I have the welding torch canisters here with a welding torch glued to the top of the box there. If you look here, you can see it in the light pretty well. I messed up with some super glue and stuff like that, but nonetheless, it makes it look like there's oil on the car. So the whole point of this car is to make it look like he's going to an auto rally, his next race. So it looks like he's taking his whole garage with him, which is really cool. Very self-explanatory car, but I thought, bring in some Disney magic from other Disney films, not just stuff in the parks. And this was one that I really enjoyed making. So let's move on to the next car. All right, so here we go. This is a big car. This is the first big car I did. And this is the Walt Disney World Fire Department car, the Main Street USA Fire Department car. So what I did with this car, this is actually a nod to Disneyland. So if you guys don't know, for the Disney guys out there, when Disneyland first opened, obviously this is cars that have to do with Magic Kingdom, but they can be used for Disneyland as well. Disneyland, when it first opened, the railroad sponsored the Walt Disney World, the Disneyland Railroad. So it used to be the Santa Fe and Disneyland Railroad. So this is a nod to that. This is a little Easter egg that I thought is really cool to do on a Disney-based train. But let's take a look at the actual car itself. So this is going to eventually be a Firehouse 5 car. So if you guys don't know what the Firehouse 5 is, the legendary animator from Disney, Ward Kimball, one of the grumpy old men, was a massive, massive train guy. He was probably the biggest train guy and the influencer for Walt Disney himself to get into trains. What I found interesting about the history is Ward Kimball had a massive collection of trains that's long gone now, been sold off, but he had an astonishing collection of trains and so forth. And he also had a band called the Firehouse 5, which was seen in some Disney films. Like some of the music was from Ward Kimball's actual band, which is really cool. So this is a nod to that. So I put the Firehouse 5 logo on the front of the fire engine that they use for their album covers and so forth. And then I have this water canister here that I painted with brass and so forth. I put the band logo on there. And then if you look here on the hood, you have the Walt Disney World Railroad engine number 1, which is really nice. Eventually, I'm going to get 3D printed figures and get all 5 band members for this car. That's a little pricey, so that will happen later down the road. But the model itself is really nice. I put chocks again. I did the metal chains. I might add some other things to this car in the future because I do find it semi-empty. So I could put more things here and here, and I might be doing that in the near future. But for now, it works, and it looks really cool, and a lot of people like it. I like it too. I thought this was a fun little build. That being said, let's move on to the next car. Alright, so this is the most colorful car out of the group. I want to take into consideration that this is still a work in progress car. The paint that you see and everything else on this car is done. I'm doing decals for this, and I want to do it right. So this is going to be a refrigerator car. This is going to be for the video game series Kingdom Hearts. If you guys aren't familiar with the Kingdom Hearts franchise, it's probably Disney's main video game franchise. It has the character Sora with the Keyblade. I'm sure you pop culture guys will know what a Keyblade is, but if you don't, look it up. Awesome video game series. But in that said video game series, they have a item or something from the lore, which is called sea salt ice cream, that all the characters really enjoy. So I thought, why not make a car that has the sea salt ice cream logo and branding put around this car, and paint the car the seaside, the beachy cream sandy color, and then the sea salt ice cream blue, which in the game it looks like this teal color. So I thought I would do that, and then put logos around it to simulate, the park. What if the park started selling sea salt ice cream? Because in the Tokyo Disneyland, they actually do. which is really cool. But I thought, this would be a fun little car to do. It's not done, but you can see I did all the sides, the doors. Just looks really, really nice. Very sharp little car. Very different paint scheme than a normal car. So hopefully by the time you guys eventually see this again, it will be completed. I will put it up. I will finish it. And yeah, so I thought it was a fun little thing because I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and I thought, why not mix the two franchises together, because it's just, it makes so much sense. But that being said, on to the next car. All right, so this thing, this is my passion project. This car right here took the most time. This was a chore to do. So if you guys couldn't tell already, this car here is from, the whole theme of the car is from 101 Dalmatians, my absolute favorite Disney film of all time. A wonderful classic film, one of the last films, the last film Disney touched before he passed away. So it has sentimental reasons to me that I really enjoy, but this car was really fun to build, and as you can see, it's very detailed. So let's get into that. So to start off, this is a scale Lionel flat car with a wood deck on it. So I thought that would be really awesome. And if you look underneath, see all the awesome detailing on it. And you don't have, I want to point something out. You don't have to get creative. If you're going to do your own custom rolling stock, do what fits your budget. So for me, I found these cars all at reasonable prices. If we go back to the Thunder Mountain car, I had that car sitting around my house for a long time. So I thought, I'll just use it as is. And it worked. But you can go on eBay and find these cars secondhand and get them for really cheap prices than what you would normally have to do for full retail. So this car was quite a process. We'll start off first with the car itself. Very basic, I think, in the mind of the villain. So Cruella Deville is a glamorous woman. So I would like to think she wants everything to match. So she's taken her car, her precious prized vehicle, somewhere outside of the UK. Like, I don't know, to someplace else, like France or whatever. She would want to have her car on a fine flatbed, not a dirty car. So I had the car match her vehicle, and I did the brass fittings that would normally be for wood stakes. And I just think that came out really nice. The brake wheel is even brass, which is cool. I kept the wood flatbed as is. I just think the car stands out more. The next thing I did, you could see, if I zoom in, if I go in close, you could see the 16 puppies, no, the 15 stolen puppies, and you have the newspaper ad from the movie there. It's not the best quality, but it works. And the same thing on the other side. You have Roger and his wife and the maid from the film, depressed that all their puppies are gone. So I did that. I got these Dalmatian figures that are from Artista, and this is supposed to be Pongo. And then you have one of his kids here that's perched on the box perfectly. And speaking of the box, if you guys remember from the movie, I did Canine Crunchies, which is the main dog food brand in the franchise. And I thought that would just be perfect on a car, so I did it on both sides, as you can see. And also a little funny haha. If you guys remember from the end of the movie, her car gets completely wrecked after she's trying to chase the puppies down and everything. So here's a little box of auto repair parts, like the car just got repaired. So I thought that was funny. Now let's talk about the actual car itself. So this was a custom done piece. This I got off of Shapeways. I found a designer who makes custom 1/43rd scale cars. For guys of you who don't know, 1/43 is considered O scale. So this is a fully O-scale vehicle. It got custom 3D printed to be exactly like it is in the movie. So I got it done, sanded it down a little bit, and then I painted it and got it to the exact red, as close as I could to the actual film. And the model itself is a chore, because as you can see, if I go around the whole model, you can see it's heavily detailed. You got the exact front end that looks perfect with the little eagle hood ornament, which is nice. The actual front bumper, that looks really great. Go to the other side of the car, you have the more infamous silhouette here, which is her rope coil for her horn. Then you go to the back, you have the spare tire on the back. You have her very interesting tail lights on the back, which is really nice and sharp. You have all the other chrome bits here, so the chrome deco here, chrome deco here for the door nut handles and stuff. The grills were done separately. This took me a long time to do this car, but it was so well worth it in the end. And you can get this. I will leave in the description of the video. If anybody's interested out there, I will leave in the description the actual Shapeways model. I will leave the link if you guys are interested in purchasing the model yourselves, if you want to do a car similar to mine, or just want this on your layout as a movie car. So I will happily do that. It's all one solid piece. The wheels don't move or anything like that, which is fine. But yeah, this was an amazing car to do. I'm very proud of this car. Came out really, really nice. And yeah, I hope you guys see it along the rails if I'm at open houses or shows. But that being said, let's move on to the last car. This thing. This. I tell you what. This car here, and I can barely get it in frame. There you go. You can see the other legs. This was the most creative, fun, and expensive car out of this entire array of rolling stock that I've done. So as you guys can tell, this is the Star Wars car. And yeah, what can I say? It is very self-explanatory, but it's beyond beautiful. I'm not being biased at all to my own model. I just find that this was such a fun build to bring to life. A buddy of mine was in a Hobby Lobby one day, and he found an ATST, which is what this vehicle you see on the flat car here. And it was in O scale. This is a 143 or 148 scale model of the ATST, and it's perfect for Oguage. So it's literally perfect. So I got it right away on Amazon, and just went to town. So I weathered the whole thing. I built the whole kit, then I weathered it, and then I did safety chains, as you can see, on all sides here. Then you have the midsection of the vehicle, then you have the two legs on the back. As you can see, they're just beyond detail when you weather them like this. You get all this awesome detail that doesn't get shown on the actual original plastic. If we go to the sides of the car, also I should mention these cars are from Menards, so dirt cheap. You can get this car for about $20, and they're in scale and it works perfectly. So you can see here, I have the Star Wars lettering here. I'll let you guys guess in the comments what it says, but it says Star Wars Land on here, which I think is just really cool. So this is like a prop that would be in that section of the park that I thought was really cool. The Stormtroopers I got again off of Shapeways. And then I had a buddy of mine help me do all the detailing here. So if I go really close, you can see he was spot on with making these Stormtroopers look perfect. These are the only O-scale figures. I will also leave these Stormtroopers in the description if anybody wants Star Wars characters for their layout. And then we have Chewbacca here, who came with the ATST kit. I weathered him up. I did his satchel and his grenadier thing, and it looks great. This overall, a fan favorite from the few times I have brought this to shows. People absolutely go nuts for this car. It was certainly a fun build and definitely the most challenging build, given I had to build a whole model kit before I even put it on the flat car. So it was definitely a lot of fun. That being said, that's going to pretty much wrap it up. I do have plans for a few more cars in the near future. I have plans to do a Pirates of the Caribbean car, potentially a Jungle Cruise car, and maybe a Space Mountain or something like that. I don't know how many more cars I'm going to do, because I think I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. But those are the last couple cars I think I would like to make in the near future. I might do another movie car. I might try to do a Monsters Inc. car or something like that, but I'm not too sure. But that being said, that's going to wrap it up for now. I'm also planning to do a caboose. So just a basic generic caboose and maybe a generic piece of rolling stock for the Walt Disney World Railroad. But that being said, that's going to wrap it up. I'll show you guys the engine running in the final clip here, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for checking this out. This was a lot of fun to make this video, and hope you guys enjoyed. Take care.